was taking drafting classes. At the time, I really wasn't even considering getting an associate's degree. I was just taking some drafting classes. One day, Lee McMains approached me and asked if I would be interested in working on a project for NASA. And I was like, yeah, that sounds really, really cool. So I went to a workshop at CU where we basically did a quick run-through of what a launch entails, how to do a build for a Demosat launch, and how to do the launch. It was kind of a crash course, and it was really funny because we'd get there early in the morning and we'd just start doing things that I had never done before. I was, programming on my first day. I had never programmed anything in my life. And the next thing I knew, I was soldering and I was doing electronics, which I had done very little of previously. By the third day, we were building structures, talking about our values, heat insulation, everything we needed to do to keep our components warm and safe during this turbulent flight. It was great is what it was. There was just so much knowledge that I learned in 3 days. It was crazy. And then at the end, we got to send stuff into space. This is what's left of our CU workshop launch. We kind of gutted it and borrowed a lot of the parts, but we made this out of, there's this really, really nice high R value foam in here, and foam core, and then we just used aluminum tape around the outside, and that was the very basic box that they showed us how to make at CU. It was great. It was really fun and very, very educational. So it was a great experience. And then when we came back, we were to use that knowledge to build our own project that's different than the one that we did there. The one that we did at CU, it just tested temperature, pressure, altitude, basic things that they do for weather balloons. And so we were supposed to take that information and do something more with our project at Ames. We have pieces of the one that we 3D printed here at Ames, and I just have to say too that Ames has really, really great 3D printing capabilities. I will tell you, we tried to print stuff and it just wasn't even close to the quality of things that we could print here. Everything was breaking all the time that we printed. We had to stop prints all the time in the middle of prints, so the 3D printing here is just amazing. We drew in air from over here. It came into this chamber. It was heated, and it also was run through a filter to take out the humidity, and then it came over here. It measured CO2 in the atmosphere at varying altitudes. So we had a CO2 sensor attached, and all of that information was saved to an SD card. And so we were able to tell up to a certain point how much CO2 was in the air. So it was kind of an atmospheric science research project. We had 2 other students that came on board, and one was specialized in electronics, one specialized, well, he didn't actually specialize in programming, but he ended up being our programming specialist. That's kind of the neat thing about the Engineering Academy and Ames and the way it was set up, is like, they don't expect you to already have all this knowledge. You're in this program to learn the knowledge. So you can come in having no experience in any of this stuff and come out being really quite knowledgeable. I would say more knowledgeable than people who had even taken a class in it. Engineering Academy kind of opened the door to Colorado Space Grant, and that there's so many opportunities there. So, and I definitely couldn't have gotten those opportunities without Ames Engineering Academy. I ended up doing an internship at CSU, which was ironic because we had modeled our CO2 box that we had done after the project that CSU had done the previous summer. So anyway, they took me in with open arms, and I, this summer, completed another project with Colorado Space Grant. We came up with the idea of a probe. So at a certain altitude, the probe launches off of our payload and begins taking pictures and collecting data as if to kind of mimic what would happen if you were sending a probe to another planet to find a landing site for a rover. This is the probe that we 3D printed. There's a lot of components that go in here. There's a little camera that sticks out of this hole right here and takes pictures on its way down, and this just screws on. And we have inside the probe, we have batteries, we have a pressure sensor, altitude and temp sensor. We have the camera, We have an SD card that writes all the information to it, and a beacon where the antenna actually will stick out of, there's a small hole right here, and so that we can find the probe after it lands. The range of things that you learn in the Ames Engineering Academy is just astounding. Along with all the science skills that we're learning to complete our project and all the research that we do to make those a success, we also are learning important, I would say, business skills, that are going to be necessary for a bright future in engineering or any of these sciences that you want to go into. So you learn through doing through this program, and it's really great. When I first came to Ames, I was just going to take some drafting classes. That was all I was here to do. I was going to learn how to do CAD. And then as I started taking more classes and I got involved with Ames Engineering Academy, I mean, it really it opened so many doors for me that I never even considered as a possibility. And it's been just really, really wonderful. I mean, I never would have thought that I was smart enough or talented enough to do these things. And through these programs, I have learned that I am, and I can do these things, and I have a bright future in this. And that's something that, I would not have had without Ames Engineering Academy.